Would you like to get rid of your back pain? Well, I'm Dr. Story. I've been a chiropractor for over 20 years. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the #1 mistake that I see patients making all the time with their back problem. And I'm also going to give you 3 self-help techniques that can have an immediate effect on your lower back problem. The #1 mistake that I see patients doing is they use heat with their back problem. When you are injured, very often an inflammatory response occurs. Now your body is going to try to protect that inflamed area by spasming muscles. So very often patients will actually think, oh, my muscles are tight. They want to use heat to relax those muscles. That's the idea. Also, quite frankly, heat actually feels good. No one thinks heat doesn't feel good. So they use heat on the area. The only problem with that is heat increases the inflammation. So what happens is, while it temporarily feels good, what you're doing is you're actually perpetuating that inflammatory response, and thus the back problem takes longer to heal. Professional athletes know this. Professional athletes have the best doctors and the best trainers imaginable, and when they have new injuries, they actually use ice. So for my first recommendation, it would be to use ice. Ice has many benefits. It reduces inflammation, it reduces pain, and it has really no side effects. Very often, if you go to a medical doctor, they will prescribe anti-inflammatory medications. Now, while these do reduce inflammation, they do sometimes have problems with people with their stomach. The second thing is, long-term, it can actually be damaging for your liver and kidneys. Ice, on the other hand, you could put it directly on the area that hurts, and it has no side effects. So what I recommend to my patients is to apply ice to an area for 20 minutes, multiple times per day. 4 or 5 times during the course of a day is not unheard of. And this will significantly reduce the inflammation and thus the pain. Suggestion would be, if you have back pain and this is the first time you've ever had back pain, it's probably not going to be the last. Now, an interesting observation that I've had is I've never had a patient that came into my office whose spine was simply too strong. So what this means is, thinking long term, you have to try to strengthen your spine over time. So once the inflammatory condition is over, what you want to do is think long term and actually start strengthening your spine. Now, the best way to do this, I've found personally with my patients, is to start out very easy and gradually increase the resistance. If you want, you can Google or YouTube the name Stuart McGill. 3 big exercises. This will get you started on the beginning exercises, and then as you get stronger, you can simply progress from there. My last suggestion and third suggestion would be to take micro breaks. I have a lot of patients who sit down at a job 8, 9, 10 hours a day, and they never take a break. And if they do take a break, it's only to go to a meeting and sit down, or go to lunch and sit down. Then they go home, sitting in their car, and they sit down for dinner. So they're never doing anything except sitting down. So what I recommend is to take what I call micro breaks. And what this means is, especially at work, every 20 minutes, the person stands up, raises their arms above their head, stretches like they're waking up in the morning, and then simply goes back down to their seat to go back to work. What happens is, if this is done 3 times an hour, multiplied by 8, 9, 10 hours a day, these little micro breaks reduce the cumulative stress on the spine. Sitting to the spine is like cigarettes to the lungs. Sitting for an hour is not a big deal, but sitting for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, multiplied by many years, can have disastrous effects on the spine. So micro breaks are very important. So hey, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. It's on the right-hand side. If you want to subscribe to my channel, it's on the left-hand side. If you want to get in contact with me, my website is www.camariochiro.com. And if you have any questions or concerns, just ask in the comment section below. I do read the questions and I will respond to you. Thanks for watching.